Welcome everyone to the 2 p.m. Sales Espresso webinar series. Looking forward to today's session. It's a little different than normal. So today we're going to be covering the 5 similarities and lessons between baseball and selling mortgages. All right. We are ending spring training. Opening day is right around the corner. Baseball is my favorite sport. Call me old, call me old fashioned. I know that a lot of people find it boring, but you know what? I don't. So they can all kiss my butt. Anyway, we are going to dive into this, but just in case you don't know, there I am. That's me right there. Go ahead. If I'm not connected with you already, scan the QR code. Let's connect. Link with me on LinkedIn, follow me Instagram, Facebook, all the stuff. You can also get all the episodes of the podcast with the links from that QR code. And if this is your first time attending, what we're going to do, we start at 2 o'clock sharp. We are going to end at 2:15, sometimes a little bit before, and we're going to cover a sales topic that will give you takeaways immediately when you hang up or sign off, whatever. So let's dive right into it, okay? So why baseball? Well, I already told you it's my favorite, so that's why I decided to pick this one. But why are we going to compare baseball and mortgages? Well, there are a few different reasons. Baseball is a game of patience, consistency, stats, and teamwork and long-term performance. That should sound familiar to you because our mortgage industry works the same way. If you exhibit those 5 qualities, you are going to be setting yourself up for success in selling mortgage. Now, I want y'all to take a second, read those, see which one of those that you do the best with, double down on that, identify one that you can improve on, and we can work on improving it. Is patience a virtue for you, or is it a struggle? Are you consistent or not? Do you track your statistics or not? How well do you work with your team and your ops? And are you setting yourself up for long-term successful performance, or are you going to be a flash in the pan here and there and every now and then and have big long or a trough between successful periods? So, let's take a second to do some self-reflection there and ask yourself that question. All right. So, similarity number one, you don't need to bat 1,000, right? In baseball, if you're batting 300, you are elite, especially these days with the players striking out 200 plus times. But a 300 batting average is still the benchmark for an elite hitter, which means 7 out of 10 at bats are failures. And I want y'all to think about that because not every lead qualifies, not every referral converts. When you're out there prospecting for new borrowers or new referral partners, you're going to hear no an awful lot. So keep in mind that you don't have to hit the jackpot on every single one. We've got to just do as much as we can. And if you're a 200 batter and you want to get better, and then we'll help you become a 250 and then 275, then 300, and then keep improving. So in other words, we can make you more effective, more efficient in this. All right. And elite loan officers win by obviously volume and consistency over time, having that volume repeated month in and month out. And that's what batting average is really about. It's an average. You may have an 0 for 5 day, followed up by a 4 for 5 day, something like that. So keep in mind that we're not going to be batting 1,000. All right. Yeah, I love this. And of course, I have to use a hockey analogy. Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? If you don't pick up the phone and dial, you don't have the conversation, you don't attend the meeting, you don't, send out the email campaign, you're going to guarantee failure. You got to try, right? All right, similarity number two. The season is long. And baseball season now is 162 games, used to be 154. Performances measured over that whole span, and of course, season after season, year after year. And pipelines don't happen overnight. Any of y'all that have been on my trainings before or heard me speak, you know that I am a big proponent of the 30-day rule, which says if you don't do something today, you're going to feel the impact of it 30, 60, 90 days down the road. And mortgage production is the same way. What you do today is going to set your pipeline up for success. But luckily, the season is long. Use that to your advantage. It's a marathon, not a sprint. All right. And to make true lasting relationships takes a long time, right? Same thing. That's again why we look at the season, the season long record. Um, Short-term slumps, guys, don't define great producers. And that's true. If somebody has a quote unquote off month, now I know that's relative to a lot of people, but if someone has an off month, does not mean that their business is defined by that. It's how well they rebound and how they work to get out of that slump that counts. All right. So again, consistent activity over time. All right. Number three, stats matter. My goodness. Baseball players love their statistics. I am no different. I can still tell you who the third baseman was for the Toronto Blue Jays in 1993 and tell you probably what their average and RBIs were and everything else. I know it's sad, but you know what? That's what I did as a kid. Okay. So baseball is obsessed with stats, batting average, on base percentage, slugging, WAR, all those things. Now, if you don't know what all those are, it's okay. You don't have to, but suffice it to say, that's just a fraction of the dozens of stats that are available for baseball. Mortgage professionals, we also have to treat numbers the same way. And I want to say this with the caveat that there are two schools of thought in baseball, right? There's like the sabermetrics, the money ball kind of thing. And then there is the quote unquote old school where you kind of feel your way through it. And no matter what, baseball is still going to be obsessed with those statistics. But I think marrying those two together is going to create the best success. And so keep that in mind. All right. But if you're not tracking your numbers, you are missing the boat here. Conversion rates, application to closings, referral partner production. These are just a few. Again, prospecting activities. What gets measured not only gets done, it gets improved. All right. Top producers know their numbers. They know how successful they are. Maybe not off the top of their head, but they can certainly look it up in 2 seconds, and they do review them regularly. All right. So similarity. Number four, it's a team sport. I know sometimes the mortgage origination doesn't feel that way, especially if you're out there all alone, sometimes calling on folks and getting rejected and that kind of thing. But you know what? You got a good team in baseball, pitchers, catchers, fielders, coaches, so on, so on. Nobody wins the game by themselves. It is a true team sport with team strategy. Just like in mortgage, listen, there are so many different parties that are in the mortgage transaction, guys. So many different personalities that we have to work with, so many different needs and challenges and wants and motivations. And we have got to bring them all together. I mean, you could even say that in mortgage lending, that the MLO is the team manager, right? Now, I know we all have equal parts to play and that kind of thing when it gets right down to it, but we are often on the front lines. Realtors are generally right there with us, but of course, I'm going to be a little biased towards the loan originators, right? And so, we are the figurehead. Something goes wrong or right, we're going to be there listening to the praise or the criticism. So, but it is a team sport. We have to remember that. The appraiser is going to be dependent on the processor, underwriter, to title company. To everybody's connected here. All right. Great originators build strong teams and partnerships, both inside and outside their organizations. So your success is going to, by and large, depend on who is on the field with you, which is why I do so many exercises for folks to try and identify their ideal referral partner or what their customer base has in common, that kind of thing. So they can see what they've had success with and kind of try and double down on that and identify areas for improvement and growth. So similarity, number five. Looks like we're at 209. We're doing good today. All right. The best players, y'all, master the fundamentals. Baseball fundamentals, obviously, throwing, fielding, batting, situational awareness. Let's look at some mortgage fundamentals, guys. Prospecting, follow up. That's where the money's made, right? Communication. That means a lot of things to a lot of different people, but communication is absolutely a fundamental practice. Doing effective pre-qualifications. One of my friends, her name's Dion Bass. She's an underwriter, and she actually has an Ask the Underwriter training module that she specifically focuses on either getting new LOs to do quality pre-qualifications, or maybe the seasoned LO who's gotten a little sloppy with it, going back to some fundamentals, that kind of stuff. Pre-qualification is absolutely fundamental. Education, you should always be learning, always learning what's going on. The top LOs, they don't rely on the gimmicks or the market shifts. It's just like in COVID, we saw all those folks exit the industry that came in when if you had a pulse, you could be an LO and take apps. Those folks are gone. The fundamental mastery is what makes an LO successful long term. All right. So, the big takeaway here, guys, big takeaway. Great baseball players, great mortgage professionals share the same mindset. You're playing the long game, you're tracking your performance to see what needs to get done, you're focusing on fundamentals, you're going to work the numbers, which means you're going to look at them and actually do something with them. And you're going to rely on your team. You don't have to be in control of everything. All right, y'all, we're in control of three things, right? Actions, reactions, mindset. All right, it's not our job to do everything. We can't do that because then we're going to do nothing well. Instead, we're going to do everything poorly and nothing great. All right, success is not about one swing. It's about thousands of disciplined at bats. Major league ball player over the course of a season will have roughly 450 to 550 or so at bats if they play the full season. That's a lot of at bats. All right. The same thing. We're going to have a lot of different conversations. Some are going to go great. Some are not going to go as great. It's going to be up to us to see how we adapt to that. So, in closing, if you approach your mortgage career like a baseball season, you'll stay consistent, you'll track your numbers again, you'll build that strong team, and you'll either focus or refocus on fundamentals. And over time, guys, the results will show up on the scoreboard. Thank you, guys. This is as much of a mindset talk as it was an actionable strategy talk. If I'm not connected with you, link with me there. Scan the QR code next week. I'll go ahead and tell y'all what I'm going to talk about next week. I'm going to do 10 ways to build client trust. All right. So